and then ask him to trot. But remember, don't walk towards him. Even if he overbends a little bit, the more you move when you're in the middle, the more unbalanced you make the horse. Just so I can watch his back a little bit while you're not up there. And then I can try and zoom a little bit while I can move it. Of course, we're going to get seasick watching it. At least it's not as wiggly as if somebody's holding it all on its own, right? And then just make sure he doesn't, what we don't want is a bunch of leg flailing and his neck up in the air, but see if you can push him just a little bit. It's a slightly bigger trot and then back to more like a jog. Because when you change the length of the stride, you know, within the trot is when you can manipulate the neck and the back a little better. So when you're next to the wall, push him, because then he can't fall away and you don't feel like you have to move. That's all right, and then just tell him back to trot. So here, push a little. Even if you only get a couple of strides, even if his neck goes up, that's not your goal, obviously, but then back to jog a tinsy bit, just so he deliberately slows down. So you get a significant difference, even if it is a jog and he's not working correctly. And then the next time that you're over here, before you get to the wall, you're going to push him again. And your goal would be to flatten that neck out and get a slightly better movement in his back as well. So that every time you push, if you were sitting on him and you put your leg on him, he's going down and rounder, not up and hollower. That's all right. So even if he makes the mistake of cantering, it's because it's easier than stretching and what have you and lengthening. So you just keep trying the same exercise. So do it once more, slow down a bit. Oh, what a good boy. Let him jog a whole circle though, just so everything just starts bouncing a bit more. See how his neck still looks tight? You know, you've not got a lot of muscle movement in his neck. That's why he can't put it down. And the same is going on underneath the saddle. So until everything loosens up, what you get is a bunch of leg moving, but not the top. You might see some parts of his body moving on top, but not everything is connecting. It's all right. And then just try the same thing with a steadier trot. Ask him to canter. And just make sure he doesn't make you move to get the canter. So if he picks up that trot, slow it down. Don't do your transition from that. Only because then he is flinging his legs and he's hollow. You can hear that. But it doesn't matter if it goes wrong. Just fix it and then try again. It's all right. And you know, so what you're watching is, you say, now, that wouldn't be acceptable if I was sitting on him in the middle of a test. So your goal is, you can go back to TROT. And your goal is go back to jog. I have to remember to move the camera. And get rid of that squeaky sheath noise. Let the neck drop at least once. You know how he'll drop and come right back up. Let that happen, but the next time you come towards H, you're going to ask him to canter, but hopefully from the jog, so you don't get this oomph and this huge up and back in the neck. You want, even if he's a bit squeaky, that's okay. So if he goes faster in the trot, don't keep asking, slow it down again. And then Once you get a more, we're saying jog only because it gives you a better idea of the speed. We want very steady, very slow. So he pushes from behind, not pulls from in front. There you go. So you didn't get the as much up and back in his neck that time. It stayed kind of where it was, so the goal would be that stretch. That's all right. So if he falls out, back to the steadier trot, the hope being he'll soften a bit and drop, so that when you ask him, the hind legs actually can come forward because the tummy is out of the way. There you go. See now, so he went totally the other way that time, right? And not that he stayed there, but that's your goal, is you want him to go forward and put his neck down. And it's not because somebody's pulling on him to get it. Then push the canter just a bit. You see if you can get something a teeny bit flatter and longer, as opposed to up and kind of like Bambi. Be-bing, be-bing, be-bing. That's all right. And then as you get to the wall, make sure you've got nothing on his face, so the wall will flatten at the one side, and the straighter he gets, that's when the neck's going to go down. He can't go down if his neck is bent to the side. What a good boy. And then when you come out of the canter, the TROT, the goal would be not for it to be long and stretched. So when you get to the wall this time, you're going to ask for trot. As he says, I heard that. And then slow it right down. Good boy. And then you can let him walk, and I would change direction, because then you get a little bit of both sides on here, and then you can get on. We have my entertaining background music, Stupid Birds. I hate these birds. Oh, I hate these birds. The mess they make is unbelievable. And you can incorporate your lateral work every time you go to change something. Move his shoulders over or move his haunch over. So there's never a time that there's ever a question about where his body is going. So you're going to do the same thing, walk a little tinsy bit. Ask him when he goes forward, it doesn't matter if it's some big giant trot, just needs to bounce off so all the muscles start to move. And you can push the trot a little bit, and then go back and forth between a jog and a trot, see if you can get rid of that noise from his stiff back. But if it's a running trot, don't let that keep going. So the more hollow or the faster his legs look like they're going, you want to back that down a bit. What a guy. Oh, crying out loud. Bugger. See if you can get it even slower. And then just kind of click at him a little bit, see if he'll trot forward. Just a teeny bit. Keep your body facing the center of his body. Don't turn ahead of that. And then your shoulder, your leading shoulder, as it were, doesn't get off the circle with him. If you are facing him, you will be able to keep him more balanced. If you're turned a little bit away from him, either behind the movement or ahead of the movement, that changes everything. Oops. Let's see what we can get here, like so. And see if you can get a little bit, yep, keep asking for a little jog. And then a little, even if it's half a circle, whatever you think is Good boy. Whoops. Here I was watching you, not the camera. And then slow down again, a little teeny bit, and then ask when you come back to the wall, ask it, that's okay. Ask him to just canter a little bit, but watch that you don't end up walking forward. Don't go forward with your left foot. Keep that left foot, the one you're standing on. There you go, good boy. And your right foot can go backwards, but not your left foot forwards. Because lunging is the same as riding, don't forget. The less you interfere with your body parts moving, the more organized the horse will get. There's a good boy. And then push that. Next time his head goes down, click at him. And your goal would be, hopefully, that you could get a little bit longer canter without the head jerking back up in the air. Well, just do that once more and then you can get on him. What a guy. So then when you come out of the canter this time, make sure the trot doesn't look like it's too fast. Same normal 1-2 working trot rhythm. Remember, it takes a lot of balance to come out of the trot without running. And the balance doesn't come from the face. Balance comes from the rear end. What a good boy. All right, you can stop and get on if you want.